Hi everyone, it's Sunday, July 26th, time for another HideNet Week in Review. I'm Vera Dordick. So last week in the Hyde market was a rather uneventful one, pretty much across the board, no matter where you were. Here in the United States, prices remained largely steady. Most sellers said activity was pretty good, despite the fact that offer lists were very short this week. With regard to the sales of regular weight heavy Texas steers, prices were steady with 62, 64 pound selections selling in a range of $15 to $17 at the high end. For the week, total slaughter through yesterday, Saturday the 25th, was an estimated 646,000, which is just down 6,000 hides from the previous week. Export sales for the week ending July 16th were similar to the previous week, coming in at 587,700. Combined shipments, however, were down, which is not what we want to hear. They were down 14% actually at 466,900. In our observations this week, we talk about the big backlog of cattle in the United States and what the packers have to say about when that might be cleared. From South America, editor Ronald Guiel reports from Brazil that despite talk of higher raw material prices due to tight slaughter, prices were still steady at 48 cents in reals per kilo. That said, there's still a lot of tension in the raw material market, and the best grades of wet blue are still in limited supply. So prices remain firm there too, with TR1 unchanged at 50 cents per square foot. In other news from Brazil, we report that Marfrig has announced it will be instituting a system to track all the cattle it slaughters. And this is in an effort to improve the traceability and make sure that it's not contributing to the deforestation of sensitive areas in the Amazon. From elsewhere in Latin America, we have news from Argentina that the future is uncertain for 800 workers of a Nonagasta tannery. And we have a story on problems in the meat industry payment chain. In Mexico, the pandemic has driven footwear profits down by 51%, and in Colombia, the country will hold a virtual edition of the Pacific Leather Fair in August. Turning to Europe, editor Andrea Guolo says that prices were largely unchanged for the week. With regard to whether Italian tanneries will be working through August, it sounds like some will close for the month, while others may work the first week, and some others may still work for 2 weeks. So this all plays into Andrea's analysis this week on the state of raw material supply in Europe, as well as the demand for various finished leathers. And speaking of the August closures, we traditionally don't publish the European and international reports during this month because Europe is largely on holiday, but this summer we will publish a mid-month update since some of those tanneries will be open the first week or two. Turning to the European cow market, the week was very quiet and not much is expected to happen for the next several weeks. With regard to British and Irish ox, Andrea says that while reference prices remain unchanged for the 36 plus British ox, contracts have been signed as low as 60 cents sterling. Irish hides are pretty much in the same boat, with prices also softening to 60 cents in euros. With regard to European bulls, sellers were pushing for higher prices on southern German selections, for example, but customers weren't having any part of it, so it was a stalemate and no new contracts were signed. So those hides remain at 80 cents in euros per kilo. So that's all we have for you this week, and until next week, good night from HideNet.